Imagine being 16 years old, battling terminal cancer, and having just months to live. Your biggest dream? To meet the Princess of Wales and share your passion for photography. For most people, this would remain a fantasy. But for Liz Hatton, a teenage photographer from Yorkshire, something extraordinary happened that would touch hearts around the world. On October 2nd, 2024, Liz walked into Windsor Castle expecting to photograph a royal ceremony. What she didn't expect was Kate Middleton, who was herself quietly undergoing chemotherapy, to wrap her in the most genuine, heartfelt hug imaginable. That single moment, captured in a photograph that went viral, reveals a truth about Kate that goes far beyond royal protocol. She has an almost supernatural ability to make ordinary people feel extraordinary. The Magic Maker. Behind the tiaras and formal engagements, Kate Middleton has quietly built a reputation for something remarkable, transforming everyday encounters into life-changing moments. While the world sees carefully choreographed royal visits, what's really happening is far more spontaneous and deeply human. Kate has mastered the art of making dreams come true, not through grand gestures or royal proclamations, but through authentic connections that leave lasting impacts on ordinary people's lives. Here's what makes this so fascinating. In an age where celebrity encounters are often superficial and transactional, Kate operates on an entirely different level. She remembers details about people's work, stays longer than scheduled, and creates moments that people treasure for the rest of their lives. Royal insiders reveal that she's actually teased by other family members because she spends far too long chatting during walkabouts. But this perceived flaw is actually her superpower. The statistics around Kate's engagements tell an incredible story. While most royal visits follow strict schedules measured in minutes, Kate routinely extends her time with people. During a recent visit to a children's hospice, staff reported she stayed much longer than we expected and described it as the most inspiring visit. Fashion designers at a recent British Fashion Council event were shocked by how much Kate knew about their specific work and collections. But this isn't about managing a public image. It's about something much deeper. Kate understands that for many people, meeting her might be a once-in-a-lifetime moment, and she treats it with the gravity it deserves. Whether it's a crying child during a walkabout or a terminally ill teenager with a photography dream, Kate has an uncanny ability to see the person behind the moment and respond with genuine humanity. The Lahi phenomenon, when dreams meet destiny. Let's return to Liz Hatton's story because it perfectly encapsulates how Kate transforms ordinary encounters into extraordinary memories. In January 2024, 17-year-old Liz was diagnosed with desmoplastic small round cell tumor, an aggressive and rare form of cancer. Doctors gave her between 6 months and 3 years to live. Rather than succumb to despair, Liz did something beautiful. She created a photography bucket list. Her dreams seemed impossible. Photograph London Fashion Week, shoot rehearsals for major musicals, and yes, meet the Princess of Wales. Her mother Vicky shared this list on social media, hoping against hope that someone might help make even one dream come true. Here's where the story becomes remarkable. Prince William learned about Liz through the London Air Ambulance charity and invited her to photograph an investiture ceremony at Windsor Castle. But here's what Liz and her family didn't expect. Kate and William didn't just pose for a quick photo. They invited the family into a private room for an extended conversation. Liz later described the encounter. Talking to them was amazing because it was like talking to anyone, like just a normal person. There was no sort of grandeur about them. There was just humanity and kindness. But the conversation itself reveals Kate's extraordinary approach. Instead of talking about cancer or treatments, Kate focused on what mattered to Liz: photography and different types of lenses. She treated Liz as a fellow photographer, not a sick child. The impact went far beyond that single meeting. When Liz died in November 2024, Kate and William didn't just issue a standard royal statement. They sent the family a special rose, the Ice and Roses Early Rose, that blooms every November around the anniversary of Liz's death. They maintained contact with the family, offering support during their darkest moments. Liz's mother Vicky later said, "It felt like walking into an extended family and having arms wrapped around you. This wasn't royal duty. This was human connection at its most profound. Kate, who was herself battling cancer at the time, understood something that went beyond royal protocol. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply see someone and treat them as the whole person they are, not the diagnosis they carry. The fundraising page set up in Liz's memory has now raised over £100,000 for cancer research, partly inspired by the attention Kate's involvement brought to the cause. One teenager's dream became a legacy that continues to help others. The extended stays, when minutes become memories. Kate's ability to make dreams come true often comes down to something deceptively simple: time. While most royal visits are tightly scheduled affairs measured in precise minutes, Kate has developed a reputation for what palace insiders call extended stays, and the impact is transformative. Take her recent visit to Tai Hafan Children's Hospice in South Wales. Tracy Jones, the director of Family Wellbeing Services, told reporters she stayed much longer than we expected and immediately gravitated to the children and families. She spent quality time talking to every child and their parents. But it's the specific details that reveal Kate's approach. During that visit, Kate met Candace Jones and Anton Griffiths, who had lost their daughter Winnie to Alexander's disease in July 2023. Rather than the typical brief condolence exchange, Kate sat with them and listened to their story. Candace later said she gave such a calm vibe and described how Kate focused not just on their loss, but on how their two surviving sons were coping and finding joy again. Here's what makes this extraordinary. Kate didn't just extend her visit, she changed her approach based on what the families needed. With some children, she got down on the floor to play with foam and shredded paper. With bereaved parents, she created space for them to share their loved one's story. With staff members, she asked detailed questions about their work and the challenges they face. The pattern repeats across her engagements. During a visit to support children with special needs, Kate was photographed giving a double thumbs up to a young girl named Skylar, while saying she is very sweet. At a fashion council event, designer Patrick McDowell was shocked when Kate demonstrated detailed knowledge of his Portraits of a Painter collection and current work for his September show. But perhaps the most telling example comes from Kate's surprise return to the Royal Marsden Hospital, where she had received her own cancer treatment. Instead of a formal visit with scripted interactions, Kate chose to sit with current patients receiving chemotherapy. She spoke openly about her own experience. You think treatment's finished, crack on with that, but actually there are more long-term side effects. Catherine Field, a patient at the hospital, later described the encounter. Kate didn't talk at her or offer empty reassurances. Instead, she shared practical insights about needing loads of water and loads of sunlight, and acknowledged the reality that, as anyone going through chemotherapy will know, there are good days and bad days. This willingness to be vulnerable, to share her own struggles, transforms these encounters from royal visits into genuine human connections. Kate understands that sometimes the most powerful thing she can offer isn't her title or position, it's her authentic self. The spontaneous magic, unscripted moments of pure humanity. Some of Kate's most dream-fulfilling moments happen when the royal schedule goes completely out the window. These spontaneous encounters reveal a woman who understands that rigid protocols often prevent the very connections that matter most. During a walkabout following King Charles's coronation, Kate encountered a little girl who burst into uncontrollable tears upon meeting her. The cameras captured the entire encounter, the child sobbing while Kate crouched down to her level, slowly rubbing her back, saying, "Don't worry." What happened next was pure Kate. She didn't hurry the interaction or hand the child off to an aide. She waited until the little girl calmed down, then sealed the moment with a genuine hug. But it wasn't just the emotional comfort, it was the follow-up. Kate noticed a little boy named James nearby and engaged him in conversation. "My brother's name is James. Did you know that?" It's a good name. These aren't scripted royal moments. They're spontaneous responses to real people in real time. The family members who witnessed these interactions described something remarkable: Kate's ability to create what feels like a protective bubble around each person she meets. During the coronation walkabout, while hundreds of people pressed against barriers and cameras captured every angle, Kate somehow made each individual feel like they were the only person who mattered in that moment. Fashion designer Connor Ives experienced this firsthand during a British Fashion Council event. Not only did Kate demonstrate knowledge of his work with vintage textiles, she showed particular interest in a gown crafted from 150-year-old fabric. By the end of their conversation, Ives was saying, "We have to make some arrangements with her team. I'd love to get the princess in something." A dream career moment born from Kate's genuine interest in craftsmanship. Professor Green, who met Kate during a children's mental health event, was struck by something unexpected. It's impossible not to feel starstruck by Kate. She's got such incredible posture. The way she holds herself is magnificent. But he emphasized it wasn't just her appearance. It was her presence in the way she made everyone feel important. Perhaps the most telling insight comes from Kate herself. In a 2016 interview, she admitted, "I think there is a real art to walkabouts. Everyone teases me in the family that I spend far too long chatting, so I think I've still got to learn a little bit more and pick up a few more tips." Nearly a decade later, she's still spending far too long chatting, and nobody's complaining. During Christmas 2024, Prince William was photographed waiting patiently while Kate continued conversations with well-wishers. When she finally noticed her family standing far down the path, she joked to the crowd, "I seem to have lost my family." But this flaw is precisely what makes her encounters so meaningful. The ripple effect. When one dream inspires thousands. The most remarkable aspect of Kate's dream-making isn't the initial encounter. It's the ripple effect that follows. When she makes someone's dream come true, it often creates waves that touch countless other lives. Consider the broader impact of Liz Hatton's story. Kate's involvement didn't just fulfill one teenager's bucket list. It brought international attention to desmoplastic small round cell tumor, a rare cancer that receives little research funding. The fundraising page established in Liz's memory exceeded its £100,000 target, directly funding research that could help future patients. Liz's 8-year-old brother Matteo, who was shy during the initial Windsor Castle meeting, found his voice through Kate and William's patient engagement. Their mother, Vicky, said, Liz would have said that her favorite part of the whole experience was the way they were with Matteo. He was really shy, and they had him chatting away at the end. That confidence boost for a grieving child represents another dream fulfilled, one that wasn't even on the official bucket list. The pattern repeats across Kate's engagements. When she spent extended time at the Children's Hospice, staff reported that her approach influenced how they thought about family engagement. When she demonstrated knowledge of emerging fashion designers' work, it elevated their profiles and opened new opportunities. During her surprise hospital visits during COVID-19, Kate and William called healthcare workers to thank them for their service. Alice Bloxham, a sister at Queen's Hospital Burton, said the call meant more than they could imagine during one of the pandemic's darkest periods. But the impact went beyond that single conversation. It reminded healthcare workers nationwide that their sacrifices were seen and valued. The dreams Kate fulfills often seem small in the moment: a hug for a crying child, an extended conversation with a hospice family, detailed questions about someone's work. But these moments create memories that last lifetimes and inspire others to believe that human connection still matters in our increasingly digital world. Conclusion: the Dream Keeper. So what is it about Kate Middleton that allows her to make ordinary people's dreams come true? The answer lies not in her royal title or access to resources, but in something much more fundamental: her understanding that every person carries dreams worth honoring. In a world where celebrity encounters are often superficial and transactional, Kate operates from a different playbook. She sees the person behind the moment, whether it's a terminally ill teenager with a passion for photography, a grieving parent in a children's hospice, or a crying child at a royal walkabout. Royal expert analysis reveals that Kate takes things seriously, and thank goodness for that. She treats each encounter as if it matters because she understands that it does matter, profoundly, to the person she's meeting. When she chooses to extend a visit, learn about someone's work, or simply listen to someone's story, she's making a conscious decision to prioritize human connection over royal efficiency. Perhaps the most beautiful aspect of Kate's approach is that it teaches us something vital. Making someone's dreams come true doesn't require vast resources or royal titles. It requires something much simpler and infinitely more powerful: the willingness to see people as they truly are and respond with authentic humanity. Final thought. Liz Hatton's mother, Vicky, perhaps said it best. Would we choose to have Liz forever and none of these experiences? Of course we would. But that's not on the cards, and we're so very grateful that people have just gone out of their way to make things happen for her and make some of her dreams come true. That gratitude speaks to something profound about Kate's gift. In making others' dreams come true, she reminds us all that kindness, attention, and genuine human connection remain the most powerful forces in the world. And in a time when so much feels uncertain, knowing that there are still people who understand this truth and act on it might just be the dream we all needed fulfilled.